What is it about the game that makes it so sacred? Perhaps the answer lies in the game's origins.
Baseball was exclusive to the American experience.
Baseball's place in American culture means that people have higher standards, that it should be better, even if it's not, even if it's just as human as every other sport and every other human endeavor.
In some ways, the idea of baseball is more important than its reality. The chasm between the two being where we find the remnants of our childhood dreams and the shadows of men like the Black Sox. Men whose imperfections off the field ultimately eclipsed their talent on it.
The game is a beautiful thing from the first pitch to the last out. If you concentrate on that, you're going to be less likely to have your heart broken.
My name's Mike Miller. I'm a volunteer and a board member here with the Shoeless Joe Jackson Museum. We are standing here in the living room of Shoeless Joe Jackson's house. Joe actually had the house built in 1940. He and his wife, Kate, spent the last 10 years of his life here. He had a room in this house where he kept a lot of his trophies, so I'm sure he spent a little bit of time in there looking over some old history and things that had happened during his career.
Joe ran a liquor store on Pendleton Street in Greenville, South Carolina, Joe Jackson's Liquor Store. And there's a famous story about Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb wanted to see Joe, and he walked in and he walked around, and Joe acted like he didn't know who he was. And finally, Ty Cobb gets a little aggravated, and he's like, "Joe, you don't know me?" And he says, "Yeah, Ty, I know you." He said, "I just didn't think anybody that knew me up there would want to know me now." I don't think Joe ever really reconciled getting kicked out of baseball. That hurt him. That hurt him bad, because he never thought that he did anything wrong.
When I was found innocent, I was still banned for life. I can say that my conscience is clear, and I'll stand on my record in that World Series. I'm willing to let the Lord be my judge.
I believe Joe should have been punished for his guilty knowledge. But I think, 10 years, whatever, he should have been reinstated. Joe's been dead since December 5th, 1951. He's banned in perpetuity now.
The Black Sox scandal remains baseball's original sin. And so, more than 100 years after the fact, 8 men who gambled and lost stand on the outside of history, looking in, all for a few $1,000. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so.
Major funding for The Black Sox Scandal, An American Story, is provided in part by the Nagani Foundation. Additional funding is provided by these donors.
My father was everything to me. And it's actually kind of difficult talking about him without becoming very emotional. Up until, he died, every decision I made, I'd always call him. And he would never tell me what to do, but he would always listen and say, well, what do you want to do? And he made me feel that I could do anything that I wanted to do. I can remember when we integrated the schools that there were many times when I was just scared. And I didn't think that I would survive. And I'd look up and he'd be there. And whenever I saw him, I knew that I was safe. I always tell you that your mama is the smartest person I've ever met. But I think my father ranks right up there as brilliant. When I was in high school, I was taking algebra, and I was sitting at the kitchen table trying to do my homework. And I got frustrated, said, I just can't figure this out. So my father said, what's the problem? He came by. He said, what's the problem? And I said, that's just algebra. And he said, well, let me look at it. I said, Dad, they didn't even have algebra in your day. And I went to sleep. And around 4 o'clock that morning, he woke me up. He said, come on, son, get up. He set me at the kitchen table, and he taught me algebra. What he had done is sit up all night and read the algebra book. And then he explained the problems to me so I could do them and understand them. And to this day, I live my life trying to be half the man my father was, just half the man. And I would be a success if my children loved me half as much as I loved my father.
It's really important for AAPI stories to be told.
When we search for who we are.
It's so amazing, the family history I never knew.
When the journey.
This was the beginning of our journey to seek the American dream.
Brings us home.
Just getting those stories out there, that can be a very powerful thing.
World. Breaking through.
Solar farm. Pentagon with executive orders.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Nawaz.
I'm Margaret Hoover.
I'm Christiana Manfou in London.
Bring us up to speed there.
Israel is vowing serious consequences.
Did you get a commitment from President Trump?
We have to work on it.
When that story is told, it will be easier for us to see each other like the people who came before us.
Today, we live in a time when meaningful discourse is needed more than ever.
Is this just, at the end of the day, very smart politics?
It's, never compromise on the accuracy.
This is the story of modern war, how it's fought and how it's changing us.
If this is the way we're going to start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
Next on POV Shorts, NASCAR's first black female pit crew member.
It's my first race back since May of 2022. I'm ready to do this.
A med student drives big rigs for tuition money.
Мне казалось, это очень похоже на анатомию человека. То есть у него тоже есть сердце, как engine, да?
Women who trailblaze and persist in her lane on POV Shorts. Major funding for POV Shorts has been provided by Open Society Foundations, the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, the Reva and David Logan Foundation, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Perspective Fund, the Wyncote Foundation, the Park Foundation, and Acton Family Giving. Additional support provided by and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
О, еще раз. Да, full. И еще мне почему-то казалось, когда я изучала трак, то есть это же тоже какое-то тело, да, как организм, да, мне казалось, это очень похоже на анатомию человека. То есть у него тоже есть сердце, как engine, да, и у него тоже есть, то есть, на